The Mueller family has left a mark on Decatur in the form of several distinguished residences. When Hieronymus Mueller first arrived in Decatur in 1857, he had little money and a young family. Between 1857 and 1872, he occupied 3 successful rented shop buildings with his family, living on the second floor of each. All of these shops were in the downtown area. By 1872, Hieronymus's financial prospects had improved, and he was able to move his family into a modest frame home located at 151 West Wood Street. This house was rented and remained the family home until his death in 1900. Hieronymus steadfastly refused to buy a home, insisting that such an investment was a waste of capital which could be put into his growing business. In accord with their father's views, Henry, Philip, and Adolph chose modest homes for their families as they married and became independent. The early homes of Henry and Adolph are still standing. The tragic death of Hieronymus in 1900 brought a marked change in both the financial situation and business philosophy of the Mueller siblings. While the business continued to grow, the new generation began to enjoy the benefits of success. Within 12 years of their father's death, most of the family had constructed lavish, handsome new homes in the community. Henry Mueller was the first to move into his new home constructed at 405 West William Street. By far the most ambitious and architecturally significant homes were those built at Milliken Place. In 1909, local businessman Edward Irving purchased the hill estate adjacent to the Milliken homestead. This encompassed a parcel of land between West William Street and West Prairie, which is now Milliken Place. Other prominent businessmen, including Robert Mueller, Philip Mueller, and their brother-in-law, Frank Cruikshank, joined Irving in a partnership to develop building lots in the new subdivision. Adolph Mueller purchased an adjoining property and added it to the consortium's planning. Each lot owner was responsible for hiring their own architect. Irving contracted with Frank Lloyd Wright of Chicago to design his home. Wright was building a reputation as the leading proponent of the Prairie School style in architecture. On Irving's recommendation, Robert and Adolph Mueller also contracted for Wright to design their homes. Having given only brief attention to the Irving project, Wright left for a year-long stay in Europe and turned the studio over to another firm, which resulted in Marion Mahoney completing the Irving house and doing almost all of the work for the Mueller homes. Another architect in the firm, Walter Burley Griffin, a renowned landscape designer, did the landscaping for all of the project properties on what is now Milliken Place. This collaboration led to the marriage of Mahoney and Griffin in 1911. Mahoney was the first woman in the nation to receive an architect's license and was only the second woman to earn a degree from MIT. Many architectural historians rate her work as equal or superior to that of Wright. The Edward Irving House at No. 2 Milliken Place is a combination of Wright's work with completion by Marion Mahoney and was occupied in 1911. The homes of Robert Mueller at No. 1 Milliken Place and Adolph Mueller at No. 4 Milliken Place were entirely the product of Marion Mahoney. These homes were completed in 1912. Irving, the Mueller brothers, and William Grady, who owned the fourth property facing Milliken Place, contracted with Walter Burley Griffin to complete a unified landscaping plan for their homes. Griffin was later engaged to carry out the Allen Ravines project, which would become the site for the Mueller Lodge on the south shore of Lake Decatur. Philip Mueller had purchased the corner lot on West William and Pine Streets, directly behind No. 1 and No. 2 Milliken Place. He intended to build like his brothers, but later abandoned the idea when he and his wife, Mary, purchased a home on the corner of Decatur Street and Powers Lane. Frank and Leda Mueller Cruikshank used a local architect, C.J. Osher, to design their striking Italianate home at 891 West William Street, adjacent to Philip's home. The Cruikshank home was constructed in 1916. Fred Mueller remained a bachelor and arranged for a room in Frank and Leda's home for his use when he was in Decatur. The youngest of the Mueller family, Oscar, moved to New York to manage a company office upon leaving the family home and never returned to Decatur.